So we're looking at the weekly DXY. We're on Tuesday, and not a lot of news. Obviously, just meeting minutes, unemployment claims, and that's pretty much it. Monday tapped into previous week's high and weekly fair value gap, along with the daily new day opening gap that had literally no trading at all. It's projected off of it and then gapped lower. So I am expecting lower DXY today. I do see that we have this day opening gap up here that has the same no trading at all whatsoever. I would like to see that get tapped into, but I'm not going to let that change my bias alone, right? So we technically have had a change in the state of delivery for the daily order flow, right? We disrespected this daily for value gap, and we had this daily candle close above short-term high on the daily time frame. But then again, after tapping into this new day opening gap and weekly for value gap and gapping lower off of that, I'm continuing with bearish bias as we've been forever. And so bearish DXY 4 hour, we have obviously the gap here, no fair value gap here. I thought there might have been a small fair value gap, nothing. If we look on the pound, there is a fair value gap, which is what this new day opening gap is. So for the pound, also I'm going with pound because it looks to me like Euro GBP is going to be bearish here. Previous day has tapped into a daily fair value gap, but 4 hour has had its change in the state of delivery. So 4 hour order flow is bearish when daily hasn't had any displacement yet. So short term, right? Because I'm not looking at swing or I'm not looking at trade Euro GBP in general. I'm just looking for the next 4 hour candle print basically. So we're in a 4 hour for value up right now, and I'm expecting bearish Euro GBP. So with bearish dollar and bearish Euro GBP, I'm going to be looking for a bullish pound. And obviously we have this 4 hour for value up right here that we could be using as a stage. And for the dollar, obviously it would be a 4 hour for value gap if it was on the same times as pound and stuff, but it's not. So there's a new day opening gap, but then if we go to the 1 hour for our scenario, we have, hold on my OCD. Oh, there we go. We have Asia consolidated, already swept Asia's lows. So what I'm looking at here is lows swept, right? So sell stops taken, triggering in sellers stopping out buyers, right? And now we're enticing, right, more people to buy, and we're going to stop out sellers, and then we're going to continue lower and maybe target these relative equal lows here, fill in this 4 hour for value up lower here, or just obviously go for the entire swing low, right? So we'll see what happens. I'm basically just going to look for Asia's highs to get swept here and then displacement lower. 15-minute for value gap entry would be preferred. Alright, so I just entered in position. Let me mark this real quick. Let me go back to one chart. So on Euro, we have an hour and a half left in this 4 hour candle. Obviously it's reacted off the 4 hour for value gap and it's gone higher, so I'm expecting it'll continue higher going into the close of the candle. For the entry, it tapped into this 30-minute. I missed it because I was waiting for the 15-minute entry. But while I was waiting for it and I saw it going away, I checked DXY and I saw that tapped into that. And then obviously the 30-minute. And I'm not gonna lie, the past few potential trades that I had been getting ready to enter in on have just left without me. So I'm just timing my entry with DXY. It's tapped its entry. No, Euro did not tap into my original entry on the 15-minute, but DXY did, so I'm just timing it because I don't want it to leave without me. So TP is previous day's high, I think this is. I'll just mark this out just to make sure. Previous day's high for a 1 to 1.7. So, yep. Alright, I'm probably just going to close the position here. We're already 43 minutes past London close. I wanted some sort of a reaction. It already tapped into the 15-minute and 30-minute for value gap and then dug into it more. GBP has just been pushing past it, and it hasn't been having a reaction like I wanted to, so I'm just going to close it before I lose more. And alright. It was a loss, obviously, so let's go over it. For the daily direction, again, this was the news. For the daily direction, I was expecting bearish dollar after we had the open displacing lower, gapping lower back under previous week's high. Reaction off of gap as an all day opening gap as well. And then obviously we had the corresponding 4-hour fair value gap here. Yes, we did have this one. I should have looked at this as well because I was going against order flow, right? But actually, I was going completely against order flow, honestly. I should have been bullish dollar because, like I said in my first clip, we disrespected this daily fair value gap, and then we had a daily close above the weekly high. Yes, we gapped lower, but technically we were still bullish, right? Especially if we haven't had disrespecting of any bullish PD arrays, fair value gap, or cutting back through this inverse fair value gap, or short-term, like a change in the state of delivery of any kind, right? And obviously 4-hour just looks extremely bullish, so I was going against that bias, trying to catch the knife, I guess, right? I was trying to get ahead of the turn. But anyways, I still honestly could have gotten this trade, so let's get into it. So yeah, I was bearish dollar. Wasn't really anything except for this new day opening gap on the 4-hour for the dollar. And then I was wanting Asia's highs to get swept, but obviously we had Euro tapping into its 4-hour fair value gap, not sweeping London's lows. So I was looking at that as, okay, London lows don't need to be swept, right? And so after that happened, after we tapped into the stage, we displaced upwards, and I wanted to enter off of the 15-minute for value gap, which I ended up seeing it. DXY tapped into its 15-minute and 30-minute here. So I timed my entry and I entered early, and then obviously I closed around here, I believe, for minus 0.6 R, I want to say, maybe 0.65, something like that. It was around around 2/3 of my stop loss. So what I was looking at here, I was talking to one of my buddies, and my old mentor, MBB trader, had been talking to the group chat about this. Actually, just before I left, he was talking about how people would wait for perfect entries, right? He said that once you know the direction, you need to just enter the trade. And one of his methods that he would use is a 30-minute close, right? So here we see London obviously tapping into our 4-hour for value gap. And if we go to the 30-minute, we have the first 30-minute candle of London just doing a doji. It didn't engulf the previous candle. Then the following candle did do a 30-minute close past it. And then if you enter right as soon as this candle closes, and as soon as this one opens, and just throw your stop loss at the overall low, 1 to 1.75 was easy, and then even 2R got hit, right? So I've been thinking about using those for a while now, but I never really used it before, and so I've just been watching it. But it's so easy that I want to make sure I'm not just going to be using that as an excuse to get in for any trade, right? So that's why I've been watching it for such a long time, because I want to make sure I'm using it at the right times. Because my 15-minute for value gap entry and my OTE entry still work. I've honestly just been, for one, my entries have been leaving without me, so I haven't been getting tapped into when it runs lately. I haven't traded in a minute. I'm trying not to get tilted, but obviously with me not taking a trade in so long, I just get itchy, and then just taking only losses for my last 3 trades is super aggravating. So it's like, I don't know. It is what it is. It comes with the losses. I gotta get over it. Just learn the lessons and do what I need to do to gain consistency, right? So if I need to tweak some things, that's fine, but I need to make sure that my general system still stays the same, right? Because I've backtested the system, I've gone on FX replay, and I've backtested regular charts too, and I know my system works. I just need to make sure that I'm pulling the trades when I can and taking advantage of what's given to me, but also not breaking my rules just because I haven't traded in a long time, right? So kind of going through a rough patch right now, I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. I'm gonna try out these 30-minute entries. I'm expecting I'll have another trade opportunity or 2 for the next 2 days, and hopefully I'll be able to make it back. I'm pretty sure I'm 1 loss away from being stopped out and trailing drawdown for my funded for my evaluation account. Let me check real quick. I'm basically one trade away from having to reset the account, so sucks, but it is what it is. I just gotta lock in on this. So, yep, you live and you learn.